Who has on the chat who's had experience with new construction homes? Who's at least toured a place? Who's at least gone to one? And let me know your experience, because I think nowadays a lot of people's first time experience with like buying a home used to be like an open house, but nowadays it's like going to an actual like home build office, right? They actually go, they walk the models, and usually the first experience with an agent they have is like that slick back dude or dudette that's like the new construction person, right? So a lot of people, that's like their first experience. And the common thing people think is like, okay, well, if we're gonna buy a house, we're gonna buy it new. And I get why they would do it. I mean, there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons to it. I think one of the biggest pros that I know for sure, let me put that down here, is gonna be the fact that it's brand new, and that means it comes with a lot of warranties. So buying a new construction, you don't have to worry, especially if you're someone like me who doesn't know how to fix anything. Like if something breaks, I have the tools, but like I have this wrench thing that apparently you roll to change the size. It's never been used. If someone ever breaks in, I could probably throw it to someone, but that's about it. So yeah, so for me that'd be perfect. New construction comes with warranties, 1, 3, 5-year warranties, even 10-year warranties in some situations. Really good pro. Another pro is, of course, which I think is the biggest one, is interest rates. There's a lot of builders out there that have bought blocks of these rates that are like at 4 or 5% at the beginning of the quarter, and they have a certain amount of time period to give them out, or to give them to their consumers. But if you want an interest rate in the 4s or 3s or 5s, the only way you're going to really get one nowadays, other than giving in a lot of money, is having a builder give it to you. So the way, once again, how they do it is they buy them a bunch of them up front, and they give them to, as long as you qualify for this right type of loan and the right kind of house, they'll essentially give them to you, right? So we're talking about like a difference of, like, right now rates are like at 7%. Well, you might get when you build to give you one at 5%, which saves you, I think last I remember, like $500 a month. It's definitely pretty epic. And I mean, other than I guess the modern builds are decent. There's definitely a pro in my opinion. Like the closets are built with modern taste. They're bigger. The desks are bigger. There's a lot of there's just more like if you ever walk an old house versus walking a new house, you can tell there's more vaulted ceilings. The bathroom, the primary bathrooms are bigger. It's just built with a lot of more modern touches for sure. Now, before we obviously get ball rolling, I think we should also talk about the cons. And I think for those that watched the recent video will know one con already. Can anyone guess? Not enough gray and white. They call it the millennial gray. A lot of millennial grays. HOA. If you buy a new construction, you're gonna have an HOA. You're probably gonna be restricted, all these deeds and restrictions on your property. It's not gonna be cool. They are built really efficient now, which is a bad thing, because you're probably gonna have a small lot size. Because they're building them so efficiently now, and like every single lot square feet is built already planned and prepared. So if you want a larger lot, you're probably going to pay a hefty premium for it, meaning you're going to pay an additional like 10 to 20, 30K more for that corner lot or anything like that. Yes, right, it is true prices are still high with new builds. However, that interest rate being low should have helped the affordability, right? So I mean, that's the biggest con of HOA, the lot size, and every little bit help in this economy. That's right. That's exactly right. So essentially that's the only really cons I can think of right now. But okay, listen, so you're a first-time home buyer, and you might be tempted as your first step to go and just start driving around. Like you'll go drive around a certain city you want. You'll say, okay, hey, I want to go look at houses in my, I don't know, whatever area you're interested in. You go, you check them out, and then you'll go like visit one builder, then visit another builder. And I'm here to tell you, that is not the right approach. You're going to exhaust yourself. I would never recommend that to a person if they're looking to buy a resale. I wouldn't recommend you just go drive around open houses. It's going to be terrible, right? So instead, I'm going to recommend you to do things a lot more intelligently. And what I mean by intelligently is you're going to do some research online first. Okay. There's this website that you can access that's free, and no, they're not sponsored. I wish they were, but they're not sponsored. Let me fix my camera real quick. Real quick. Make my chat box here. Make them tiny. You won't be able to see what people are saying, but they're there. That way you guys know you're still here. New Home Source Professional is a free site, and they're available all over the country. I'm sure there's other websites like this. This is the only one that I know of that I'm familiar with. If you happen to have any other websites out there, I mean, you could go on Zillow, Realtor and Trulia, and sometimes they have them, but I want a website that's just focused on new construction. If you're going this route, you're committed to it. This is one website I recommend. People in the comment section or in the live chat, I'm sure, please, if you have suggestions, I'd love to hear it. Sponsor our boy, John. That's right. New Home Source Professional. Give me a call. Right now, I'm ready. So let's say I'm looking in an area. I'm going to just, top of my head, pick out, I don't know, Avondale. It's an area near here, Phoenix. They're still building out new builds, and you're gonna be. You might not know what your prices are yet, but you're just gonna, pick out the house that you want, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and let's say you know for sure you don't want to go over 450. It's important to do this because you might go out and drive around, and you'll see like the signs that say starting at 350 or starting at 250 or whatever, and then when you actually drive into the new home build offices, they'll say, oh yeah, we only have 600k plus homes available, right? So you're going to be wasting your time out there. Like, don't waste your time. Actually go and do the research online. Oh man, I have to sign in. Access agent only data. Let me just kind of go with the motions here and see if I can actually make an account, because if did I just recommend you guys? Oh, I'm a password. I love Kyle Seagraves 101. Let's see. Create account. Put my zip code in there. I actually, whenever somewhere makes me put my zip code, I always put like an old zip code I used to live in. That'll show them. Sure, it doesn't work. Okay, yeah, so it did work. Sweet. So now it's giving me exactly what I want. It's giving me the price point that works for me, and so it gave me 36. The great thing about this is it ranks. Sorry, it basically gives it to me by the houses and the models. It's not giving me like the whole builder yet, right? So from here, I'm gonna start getting an idea of what I like, and we can narrow these down even further. So, for example, let's say I don't want any 2-story homes. My knees are starting to hurt, and I don't want to be able to walk every freaking day. What's up, John? Hi, John. It's been a while, man. How are you? How you doing? Zoila, we'll talk about concerns with new construction homes, and I'll definitely talk about that as well. But let's say we only want to do 1-story. Great. Let's do only 1-story houses. That's going to limit our search to 28 houses. Okay. Well, let's say now that we're looking at the different prices, I see that there's plenty available. Well, now I'm going to for sure not go all the way to 450. I'm going to go lower than 400, see what's possible. Great. So we narrowed it down to 6 houses, right? I look, all that time I saved. I would have gone seen freaking 10 or 15 builders before I actually found the ones I like. Now, the internet did the work for me. It's Gucci. We're good to go. So once we found that we narrowed them down, we start writing down the community names. Now you can do a list on your own. Let me see. You can do what I'm doing and use a fancy iPad that you don't really use unless it's for these videos. But let's just do this. Use internet to narrow search. Okay, so get your list ready, and we're not, we can go and look at the models and do the fun part, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna start narrowing down by the name of the actual builder. So here looks like it's Brookfield Residential, and we're gonna get an idea of their office. We're not gonna call them, we're not gonna do anything. We're just writing it down on a list. We're getting the builder, we're getting the name of the model, we're getting the price. Okay, we write that down. And in that list, we're also going to do three things. So we're going to do the model, the builder, and we're going to call and find out what the incentives are. Before I go waste my time and go look at all these places, there is a local number I can call, and I'm going to find out what the incentives are. What do I mean by incentives? Incentives are, in short words, what they're giving you to buy the house. This could include interest rate, like what I was telling you before. But on the top of that, they can also give you additional like closing costs. They can pay your closing costs for you, give you some kind of credit. And the one thing we're also going to find out is the commish. Who loves to give their agents money here? Raise your hand. What's up, Ohioan? Thanks for stopping by to the live/video. What do I mean by agent commish? Well, first of all, let's talk about the other stuff. Interest rate. What kind of interest rate are they giving you? Now, normally how they describe it to you is, oh, we give you a 5% interest rate. Okay, great. But really find out how they're doing it. A lot of times they'll go, hey, well, you can get a 5% interest rate as long as you find a house that closes in whatever month, right? So see if that works. Find out more details about it. On top of that, with that, are they also giving you an additional incentive for closing costs? Sometimes they say, we'll give you $30,000. And with that, you can figure out what you want. Well, that's not really helpful, because then they can change it up and say, well, if you want the 5%, you got to use all 30K. But if you use only 20K, then we'll give you a 6.2, and then we use the other 10K to pay your closing costs. No, like, what are you giving me for the interest rate? What are you giving me for the closing costs? Really, really find that out. And then the last thing being the agent commission is, if I bring my agent to the table, how does that work? What I mean by that is the builder has a certain percentage already allocated to pay an agent that brings in a buyer. Now, you would think that if you don't go in with the buyer, that 2.5%, 3.5%, 4%, whatever, usually it's 1 to 3% that they're giving to that agent. If there's no agent present, you would think it would go, like, maybe in best case scenario, to you guys, right, to save you money. Or you would think it would go to the agent that's helping, with a builder. But no, guess where that money goes? It goes back to the builder's pocket. That's not very helpful. That just makes them more money, right? So find out what happens with that commission. You might find, and you ask, if I bring an agent, if I don't, you have to ask the question, if I don't bring an agent, what happens to that commission amount? Like, first of all, what were they going to be paid? And then what happens to that commission amount? This sucks, especially as an agent. This really sucks when you get left out of the deal. But minority of the time, what you're going to find, you find a builder that says, you know what? If you come in without an agent, we'll give you an additional 1%. Sorry, agent. Bye-bye. Or, hey, if you don't come with an agent, we'll actually give that savings to you on the price. Whatever, if you can find something, great. Now, it's going to be scary not having an agent, but here's the grand conspiracy and the grand secret when it comes to agent and new construction homes. We're not really doing much. We're there to you feel more comfortable and safe that we're there, but really everything is very self-guided. The person that's working for the builder is the one guiding you. Me as the agent, we're not really doing much. I mean, I could tell you a few instances where I've caught red flags and it's like concerning, but if there's a way you can save money and make money, I would rather give you that. What you will find, though, the majority of the time, I would even say 80-90% of the time, what you're going to find is that they don't do anything. If you don't bring an agent, the agent commission just disappears. It really doesn't. It goes back to the builder's pocket. So in that case, then what you want to do, what I recommend you do, is take an agent you like. Know that A, they're going to get paid, they're going to get compensated, and B, they are going to watch out. So, they're going to read the contract as well. They've done this a lot of times, and they'll keep an eye out. It's how the system's set up. You might say, well, I hate agents, I don't want to help. Okay, fine, then don't help an agent and just go, and that money goes into the builder's pocket. But if you're going to go buy a new build and you happen to have an agent you like already, why not call them? Right? And there is an argument to be made And I know some people in the chat are going to be starting already. Anna, what's up? How are you? How you doing, Anna? John, man, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I think mortgages are overweighted from weight still. Well, if you got the cash to help out, then that'd be great. I thought it's the seller that pays commission. It does, yeah. But in this case, the builder's the seller. But you have to find out where the builder. Was that not clear there? That made sense, right? Please let me know if that didn't make sense, guys. I'll correct it. You are the best at doing these kind of videos. Thank you. Appreciate it, Yoko. And it shows, you can tell that I'm not like BSing. This is it. Javier may have room in his garage. No garage room here. But anywho, take it. You can take an agent if you like one. Go, they'll get paid. Now there's a lot of, like I was saying right now. Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. There's a lot of people that'll be like, well, if I'm gonna bring my agent, I'm gonna have a conversation with them and see if they're willing to give me part of their commission. That's valid. If you want to have that conversation, great. And I've had that conversation had with me. But at the end of the day, that is the commission. That's the agent's choice whether they want to do it or not do it. I will tell you that when I do have that conversation, it's very defeating because hey, this is not money that you had. It was going back to the builder, right? And you're gonna help the agent out. But if you feel entitled to that and you're saying, hey man, I wasn't gonna bring you in at all, but now that I'm bringing you in, I want this. You will find an agent eventually that will say yes. Okay, so that's all I'll say about that, because I know there's people out there that had a question about that. Cool. Okay, so now we go back to the chicken scratch. Our chicken scratch writing. We're going to use our internet to narrow the search down. We're going to basically narrow down, create a list based off our model, our builder, and incentives. And then when we're actually researching incentives, we're trying to find out what rate are they giving me, what closing costs are going to give me, and what's going on with the commission there. And once you've done this, you're going to actually get a really good list going here. You're going to have either on an Excel sheet or on paper and pencil. You're going to have a very good understanding of what's out there for you. And guess what? Now you can go to the models. Now you can take an agent to go. Make sure to take, if you are going to hire an agent, have them go with you the first time, because the rule is that they have to be there, at least in Arizona. I don't know, or some other places. You have to have them there the first time in order for them to be part of the contract, right? So now go and get it done. What happens most of the time is you're going to probably, even though you have 4 or 5, you're going to probably have 1 or 2 that you really like. And when you go there, you might realize, hey, I don't even like this house. And you might go look for resales, which that's going to be my third point here. Let's see. Hey. It's being hidden. We're going to have to redo that again. It started just... Hey, there you go. Javier, keeping the home ownership dream alive for millennials everywhere. Hey, it's not just millennials. It's Gen Zers. It's the boomers. It's everyone. Home ownership should be available for everyone, not just a certain group of people. So, as long as it's not in the hands of corporations, I'm happy. Can I get a hell yeah? I've been watching a lot of TikTok has started feeding me because I grew up on it was WWF. I grew up on Stone Cold and The Rock. And TikTok's been feeding me a lot of like documentaries they had about him. Oh man, dude, I was just talking to my wife about this. We grew up, because we grew up not so, with a lot of money, and now we didn't grow up together. Okay, making it seem like my wife's my sister. I better calm down there. We grew up watching SmackDown because we didn't have cable. Why am I insinuating my wife's my sister? Sorry. Anyways, number 3. Where are we going with this? Yes, number 3. Go look at resales. I don't care how certain you are that you're gonna find, like, you're gonna go with the new construction home. Go check them out. Literally, if you're looking at $450,000 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes in this zip code, take a weekend to go look at them. You want to look at what you're competing against, because you should be looking your builder as an option. It shouldn't be the only route you go. It is a valid option, because you might find, here's the crazy part, you might find there's a lot of resales in the same neighborhood you're buying in. So why not go buy a resale that's like 1 or 2 years old a lot cheaper? Or you might find that resales are selling for $100,000 more, and you're like, these guys are out of their freaking mind. This new construction makes sense. So go look at them. I don't care how certain you are, go look at new construction houses and just get a basically double opinion. So we have essentially our 3 broken down, which we're looking at new construction. Like we're using the internet to narrow down our search. We are, well, let's not do a recap there. Let's keep chugging along. So as you're looking and you're stepping into these new home build offices, this is the thing that you have to remember, okay? Is you're not shopping for a house. When you're buying a new construction. Javier is not married to his sister. This is not a paid actor. Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you throwing that out there, that I'm not married to my sister. And listen, if she was my sister, I am the happiest man in the world, okay? But it's not, but she's not. Let's see what happens. I just start talking. Now this is not the new construction video. This is the Javier married to. So if you're watching this after the live and you make a comment about the sister, I know that you watched it also. Thank you. I remember Rikishi. I remember that, the whole Scotty Too Hottie and Rikishi, and I forgot the name of the other guy. Anyways, you're not shopping for a house. You are shopping the builder. Yes, find the model in the house you'd like. I'm not saying to not look at that. That's of course going to be the right the approach you should take. But what I mean is you're going to shop that individual builder. Now, here's the two main differences here. 2 things to focus on, sorry. One is, I don't care if your cousin had the best experience with Mattamy Homes like a year ago in a different subdivision, and now they have Mattamy Homes tattooed on their butt cheeks because they love them so much. So what? Every builder is always different depending on the season they're working with and literally the different offices. Even if it's the same offices, it can be a different season, completely different experience. Same builder, 2 different parts of towns, literally, like, it could even be like a mile away, complete different experiences. Your home buying experience with the new construction is based on their current team. Who is their sales manager? Who is their construction manager? Who is their superintendent? What trades are working with them at that given moment? Because they could like have the trades like completely brand new and they're just doing a terrible job and the things are getting delayed. Like I had a house once where we found out that they were having trouble hiring trades so badly that they hired a team from Texas, we're in Arizona, to drive for a weekend to work on the roof. Like it's like crazy. So like you're shopping that builder. So when you're talking to the salesperson, don't just like, oh, how many square footage does this house have? Oh, are the vibes right? Yeah, you're checking for upgrades. You're checking for what does it come with? What's standard? You know, what are the average price on top of the well, we'll talk about the upgrades in a bit, but you're gonna make sure to ask questions about who's the superintendent. How long have they been working there? Can I get their phone number? I like to ask them a few questions. Now that's if you're like super Karen mode. Okay, I don't know if that's necessary. Talk to their trades. Like, don't talk to the trades, but how long, who's like working right now? Who's the trades? How long have you guys had them for? What's your like current like common delays right now that you're having? Is there any issues with labor? Is there any shortage in a specific type of labor? Because like they might have an abundance of plumbers, but not an abundance of like finished carpenters. Just really get a good idea. You're not just hiring. A lot of people just talk to the salespeople and just focus on the sales and the financing and all that. Okay, we are focusing on just like we're getting the whole picture here. Okay, so we're getting a whole picture, and then we're making sure to, if you can, talk to as many people that is part of that team as you can. It may sound like you're overdoing it, but you know, you should take this as serious as if you're buying a resale, right? You're going to be doing plenty of inspections during the resale part, so why not? So you're shopping around the builder. So once that is officially going, you've done all of this, you decided to pick your model, you are going to, these are just some common rapid fire stuff for you. Figure out what the standards are and try to go look at the standards, because they're going to show you their models, but you want to actually go look at something that's not fully done up. The models, if you didn't know, always have the best upgrades. They're always like max to the tier, like Uber, like level 100, max stuff, everything, right? You want to go and actually focus in on the ones that aren't so done up, right? So go ask. They're probably going to have houses that are already being built. Go ask for a few keys. Go ask and see if you can see some houses, so let's see, that need a little work. So let me go to here. Go see unmodded builds. Okay, just go get an idea of what's going out there. What are the unmodded ones? Just so you can get an idea of maybe, hey, you don't have to go and get amazing upgrades. You can just get the simple one and save money there, and maybe use them for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I got the Riz. Hey, thank you. It was good enough to get my sister. Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. She's not my sister. I'm kidding. So go look at that. And of course, once again, rapid fire here. You're going to have to use the builder's lender if you want their incentives. Yes, there's very rare exceptions where you might bring in an outside lender that might do a better job, but play ball here. You're looking with the builder. The builder's the reason why they're able to give you a much better rate or much better deal is because it's all part of their general fund of money, and they're taking a loss in other places to gain in other places. You're going to have to use your builder's lender. That's totally fine. You know, even though you are going that route, I guess you could try to pretend that you're not going to use them, but they're going to have the best, like, if they're not giving you any upgrades, or they're not giving you any incentives, then I guess you can bring in your other lender, but it's just, you know, part of the procedure. And then basically once you're signing the offer and the contract, then that's it. I mean, at that point, you're going to just be taking in the whirlwind of the new construction process, right? You're going to be, you know, have the inspections, you're going to have a bunch of other things. And this is kind of like a gimme. I feel like this is like common. This has become such like advice that realtors give that's like, they make it seem like it's revolutionary, but it's been given so much at this point that I really doubt it is. And that's hire a home inspector while the house is being built. There's going to be a certain period where during the home buying process, like during the new construction, where they're going to allow you to bring a inspector. Usually in my experience, it's like 1 to 2 weeks before it's officially done. Make sure to hire them. You could try to hire them like before the walls go up while everything is like gutted. A lot of times they give you a lot of flack and they cause issues. If you are like, if that's your priority, then do that. Then hire and fight them tooth and nail to let you have someone. In my experience though, it's better to either, if you have the understanding and knowledge, or if you know someone that does, go walk the house unannounced as much as possible. They are going to do two things. They're going to make sure that they do a good job because they see you all the time. And if they're aware of your presence, they're just going to do a better job. Where if the homeowner never shows up, they don't really take care of I don't know. There's like something about seeing the boss there that really gets them working, right? You want them to be, you want to be like annoying, like you wanted them to be annoyed of you in a way because they know that you're coming. You know, you want to be like, what is that saying goes? The squeaky wheel is the one that gets fixed. You want to be that squeaky wheel. You want to go and be calling things out. Hey, how come this is that way? How come this is that way? Or someone literally, like one of my buyers once, someone pissed in the toilet seat, or they pooped or something. And it was, they missed the toilet and they peed on the actual floor or something. And there was like a pee stain there for like a few days at that point. If my buyer wouldn't have been going as often as they did, that pee stain would have been turned into something. They probably would have been tiled over, honestly. And then it would have just been a permanent piss on the freaking house. right? So be annoying, consistently show up, make it a job, a priority, and it's going to take more work, yes, but get it. It's part of, just part of the procedure. So, all right, that's a general home buying guide for anyone looking out there. Now, remember, folks, that if you did watch this after the fact, this was live. So if you want to be part of my next live, make sure to hit subscribe and hit notifications. Now I'm going to take some time to do a Q&A section for anybody that's here, not just new construction homes. If you have new construction homes, your question will be a priority. But if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. So ask away, my friends. While people, I know it's pretty disgusting, I know. But it doesn't have to be new construction, but I will prioritize those for sure. I know someone who did that, slumlord, for sure. What? Did what? Yeah, it probably was red and blue in the background. Well, that was fun. Whew.